All right, settle in, everyone. Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we are stepping back, way back, like thousands of years. We're diving into the world that comes alive in some incredibly ancient texts.
Yeah, specifically, these are excerpts from the Rig Veda that you, our listeners, shared with us.
And they are really something.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
We're talking powerful hymns here, these really vibrant prayers. They're dedicated to a whole pantheon of, well, dynamic and fascinating deities.
It feels like a rare chance, doesn't it, to sort of peek directly into how people saw their world back then.
Exactly. An ancient consciousness, right there in the words.
So our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack these verses. We want to pull out, the key traits, the roles these gods played.
And understand what the people actually praying to them were looking for. What were they asking for?
Right. What insights pop out from these millennia-old prayers? What did life actually look like through the lens of these specific beliefs, just as they're laid out here?
It's about trying to grasp that universe, yeah. Not just, read a description of it.
Okay, so to start digging into that universe, I think we have to begin with Indra. He jumps out right away.
Definitely. He's presented pretty clearly as the king, the warrior, the liberator. The hymns really hammer home his power through these specific actions.
And the big one seems to be the Virtra story.
Yes, that's the most celebrated feat, the slaying of Virtra. And the text paints Vitra as this massive blockage. He'd encompassed, or maybe better, imprisoned the waters.
Holding them back, it says, like kine held by the robber.
Exactly. It's this image of, like, total cosmic stagnation. Everything's stuck.
And Indra's reaction is, well, it's not subtle.
Not at all. Decisive, violent. He smites Virtra with his deadly bolt. Boom.
And then there's that really striking image afterwards, almost bizarrely domestic.
Right. Virtra's mother, Danu, she's humbled. The hymn says, the son under, mother above, laying like a cow beside her calf.
In the middle of this epic battle, it's quite a picture.
It is. And the result is immediate. Liberation. The waters are freed. They carry off Vitra's body, which the hymn calls nameless.
So Indra opened the cave, basically.
Yeah, he let loose the 7 rivers. So this isn't just winning a fight. It's like restarting the flow of life itself. It's fundamental to how the world works in this view.
And his power in that moment feels absolute. The hymn is clear. Yeah. Nothing worked against him.
Nothing. Not lightning, thunder, hailstorm, or mist. It says, Mahavan gained the victory forever. It really feels like the ultimate statement of divine power.
Total dominance over cosmic chaos.
Pretty much. Establishes him as the force capable of overcoming that kind of fundamental resistance. But then you get one of those really fascinating, almost humanizing little details.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
Right after this massive victory, the hymn says, fear possess thy heart. Indra's heart.
Wait, seriously. The guy who just freed the rivers, the cosmic champion, he gets scared.
Apparently so. It says he crossed 99 flowing rivers like a hawk affrighted.
Wow. That has a whole different dimension, doesn't it? You wouldn't expect that from the all-powerful king figure.
Exactly. Maybe it suggests just how immense the struggle was. Or, maybe a flicker of vulnerability that even a god like him might feel after something so huge. It connects him to us, in a way.
Makes sense. But his warrior role doesn't stop with Virtra, right? He's constantly fighting.
Oh, yeah. The sources mention him battling the Dazu again and again. They're described as wealthy, but also ancient rightless ones. Basically the enemies of the faithful.
So he's driving them out.
Driving them from heaven's floor to destruction, scattering them, overthrowing them, even burning them from heaven. He's the divine enforcer.
Clearing the path for his worshippers. It mentions specific things like breaking castles.
Yeah, breaking through Ilibisa's strong castles, cutting down Suspa, renting enemy forts with his sharp bowl. It shows he's not just dealing with cosmic stuff. He's involved in the real-world conflicts people faced.
And his identity kind of sums all this up.
It really does. He's the king of all that moves and moves not, king of creatures tame and horned, the thunder wielder. He rules as sovereign over all living men.
And that image of containing all as spokes within the Feli.
Right, like he's the absolute center, the hub holding the whole universe together while also ruling human affairs.
And this power, both cosmic and earthly, connects to another big role for him, the wealth giver.
Absolutely key. He gives wealth and booty, gathers great store of riches. He's called the invisible wealth giver, someone who helps people gain wealth.
And that incredible line with thunder's light, he milked cows from out the darkness.
Isn't that amazing? It links his storm power, his light, directly to producing sustenance, wealth, even from places that seem dark or impossible to access.
So his power isn't just for epic battles, it's practical too.
Very practical for the needs of his worshippers. And the hymns even list specific people he helped in battle names like Kutsa, Dagadu, Kanva, Tugra's houses.
Svitra's son, Svitra's mild steer. So real individuals or families felt his direct support.
Seems so. So you've got this complex figure, the cosmic liberator, the sometimes fearful warrior, the earthly enforcer cleaning up enemies, the divine king holding it all together, and the practical helper who brings home the winnings.
Yeah, a really powerful blend of roles, central to this whole ancient picture. Okay, so moving on from Indra, who's such a dominant force, we bump into another pair. The Asvins, the divine horsemen. They feel different.
They do, yeah. Their focus seems much more on help, on beneficence.
And their transport is pretty memorable in the sources.
Oh, definitely. A honey-bearing car. How about that? With 3 fellies and 3 supporting pillars.
The honey car. And it gets better, right? Doesn't the sun's daughter ride with them?
She does. The sun's daughter mounted their 3-wheeled car. And get this, they yoke a mighty ass to draw it.
Okay, a honey car pulled by a powerful donkey carrying the sun's daughter. That's unique imagery. Really sets them apart.
For sure. And they're always moving. The hymns say they travel thrice by night, thrice by day, journeying around the earth.
Constantly active.
Yeah. And they come from far away, like vital air to bodies. What a phrase. Suggests their arrival is essential, life-giving.
Like vital air. That's beautiful. It captures that feeling of essential help. And what do they bring on these trips?
Bounty. Their bounty is far-stretching. They banish want, give store food, both at evening and break of day, so daily sustenance.
And long-term benefits, too.
Yep. Abundant wealth, prosperity, and fame. They cover the basics and the aspirations.
And crucially, the sources really emphasize their role as divine doctors, as protectors.
Big time. They grant heavenly, earthly, and water-held medicines, all kinds of remedies. They bestow favor, health, and strength upon a son. Very focused on well-being.
And safety.
Yes. They provide triple protection. Sounds pretty comprehensive, right? They ward off enemies.
Triple protection. I like the sound of that. How did people approach them? Was it different?
Well, the hymns mention they're to be worshipped thrice daily. That's quite specific.
A regular practice.
Seems like it. And they come with the thrice 11 gods, so they're part of the bigger divine picture. People pray for them to make long our days of life and wipe out all our sins.
Longevity and purification. Interesting combo.
And they're practical helpers, too, called upon where men win the booty.
So healers, food bringers, wealth granters, protectors, offering long life, all while cruising around in a honey car with the sun's daughter and a donkey.
Pretty much. They seem like these constantly available benevolent forces, really active in making life better and safer for humans.
All right, from those benevolent healers, let's pivot to a god tied very directly to light and cosmic movement. Savitar, often seen as a solar god, right?
Yeah, that's a common understanding. And the hymns really capture his movement beautifully. He travels the upward and downward path.
Sunrise, sunset.
Exactly. Suggests that daily cycle. He journeys with 2 bright bays, his horses. He comes from a far distance, moves through the dusky firmament. And here's a key bit. Laying rest immortal and mortal.
Wait, laying immortal things to rest too, not just mortals.
That's what it says. It's a really profound image. Maybe connecting him not just to our daily sleep, but to bigger cosmic cycles. Cycles of being, maybe. Hard to say for sure, but it's striking.
Definitely makes you think. What does his movement, his light, bring to the world?
He's the great dispeller. Chases away distress and sorrow, drives away sickness. He bids the sun approach, spreads bright sky through darksome regions.
So bringing light, clarity, order, making the world visible, navigable.
Precisely. Illuminating everything. The Earth's 8 points, 3 desert regions, and the 7 rivers.
And like the others, he's a benefactor. People get stuff from him.
Yep, gives choice treasures to him who worships. But he also has this really unique role. He guides ancient dustless pathways in the air's mid-region.
Ancient dustless pathways. What does that evoke for you? Like celestial highways?
Could be. Or maybe the unseen connections, the routes linking different parts of the cosmos. It fits with him moving through the dusky firmament, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. He's not just the sun we see, but maybe the guide through the whole cosmic structure.
That's the feeling. He's called a gentle leader, strong of wing, deep quivering asura. He's praised in hymns at evening, marking the end of the day he started.
And people ask for his protection.
Yeah, simple prayers, preserve from harm, and bless us. And the hymns give this glimpse of cosmic geography linked to him.
Oh, right, the heavens thing.
3 heavens there are, 2 Savitars adjacent. In Yama's world is 1, the home of heroes.
So Savitar's domain covers 2/3 of heaven, separate from where the heroes go.
Seems like it. It paints a picture of a structured cosmos. And Savitar's realm, associated with light and maybe that profound rest, is a major part of it.
Okay, moving from Savitar's golden light, we arrive at a deity who feels absolutely central to the whole practice of worship itself.
Agni.
Ah, yes. Agni, the sacred fire, the messenger, the priest. You can't overstate his importance based on these hymns.
His nature is described with such reverence, incredible reverence. He's the immortal Jatavedas. That name might mean something like knower of all beings or knower of all births. He's many-hued, the fulging gift of dawn, the deathless nourisher, the immortal preserver.
And that phrase, sprung from the law, what do you make of that?
It's huge. It connects him directly to that fundamental cosmic order, that rhythm or truth often called Rita that seems to underpin everything. It makes him more than just fire. He's like an embodiment of that order.
And he's oil-fed, which points right to the ritual.
Right, the ghee being poured.
Yeah.
Which leads to his crucial role. He's the linchpin of the whole sacrificial system.
The go-between.
Exactly. The offering bearer, the loved messenger, the charioteer of sacrifice. He's the essential mediator between gods and men, the actual priest in a way.
The hymns even say he was ordained by gods for Manu's sake, for the first man.
Yes. And his job is to bring gods to oblations. Without Agni, there's no connection. The offerings don't go up, the gods don't come down. Simple as that.
And his presence is described so vividly you can almost feel the heat.
You really can. His flames spread wide, his splendor reaches to the sky. They're fearful, not to be approached, yet he's also full of splendor and might.
The smoke-bannered form.
Yeah, and ruddy and beautiful to see. A powerful, definitely awe-inspiring presence.
But he's not just a passive conduit. He's also a protector, right?
Oh, absolutely. Helps people gain wealth, helps friends. He's victorious over enemies, and a fierce protector against, well, nasty stuff. Fiends, malicious wrong, those who injure or slay.
And the descriptions are pretty graphic.
They don't hold back. He burns ravening demons dead, smacks wicked with fire for teeth, consumes demons, sorcerers, and devouring fiends. He's an active, burning force against evil.
So the bridge to the gods, a terrifying guardian, but also cozy, part of the home?
Kind of. He's called a cheering priest, the lord of the house, the best entertainer of gods, and meat for sacred food. He also grants heroic sons.
So lineage, strength, domestic well-being.
Yeah, he's central to both the cosmic connection and the household hearth. He works with the Asbans and Dawn for strength and fame.
And the hymns mention specific people who relied on him.
Yes, showing that personal connection. Men kindle him with gifts. Kanva and Medyatithi made him a source of wealth. Versan, Upastuta. Kanva kindled him for his right. People reverence him. It shows he was important to many different individuals and groups.
He has kinship with the gods, rules as king or widely famous strength. He's great, good. He stood at Kanva's side. That's very personal support.
It is, and it's stated clearly. Those who made offerings gained wealth through him. That reciprocity again. And that line about all constant high decrees of gods meet in him.
Back to the law.
Exactly. It reinforces that he embodies or aligns with that fundamental universal order. The structure of reality flows through him.
And like Indra and the Asmans, specific people got help. Kainvar got heroic might, felicity, Medyatithi, Upasputa to win. He helped bring people like Ugradeva, Yadu, Turvasa from afar.
Yeah, and brought Navavasva, Bhadratva, Trivedi to subdue foe. Agni is deeply woven into the history, the success, the very fabric of the people's lives.
Okay, now, the Maruts, the storm gods. These excerpts paint them as, well, incredibly powerful, but also kind of lively.
Lively is a good word. Their description is so vivid. They're resplendent on their car, self-luminous, born together.
And they're chariots, not horses, right?
Nope. Spotted deer. And they carry spears, swords, glittering ornaments. There's even a red deer draws as leader. That image, deer pulling storm chariots, it's just fantastic.
It really sticks with you, and they make a racket.
Oh, yeah. You hear the cracking of their whips. Their voices' sound makes earth shake. And there's that intriguing line. They talk together on the way. Does anyone hear them as they speak?
Give them this mysterious air, like they're powerful, but just beyond our full grasp.
Exactly. A powerful, almost unknowable collective. And their power is described in, well, overwhelming terms.
Like world-shaking power.
Literally. They're an unassailable band, fiercely vigorous, strong, the shakers of earth and heaven, like a garment's hem. It says man holds them down before their wrath.
Even mountains give way.
The rugged-jointed mountain yields. Earth trembles in terror at their racings. They make mountains rock and reel, rend forest kings apart. They can overthrow what is strong, whirl ponderous things.
It's pure, raw force.
And the hymns emphasize their warrior might is passing glorious, not like guileful mortal strength. It's whole strength, perfect might.
Where do they come from? The hymns mention origins.
Yes, sons whom Prisni bore, she's often seen as an earth mother figure. And they're also called sons of Rudra, linking them to another powerful, stormy deity.
And their connection to rain is obviously huge.
Central. They send windless rain e'en on desert places. When the rain finally comes, lightning lows like a cow following its youngling. What an image.
That's incredible.
They inundate earth, spread darkness in day with water-laden rain cloud. They drop offspring of the cloud, long, broad, inexhaustible. And they're actually strengthened as they drank the rain.
So they wield this essential, sometimes terrifying power of the storm, but
Right.
they're also described as playful.
Right. Sporting exultant. A sportive band. It's one of those fascinating contrasts.
Terrifying world shakers who are also having fun. What does that suggest? Maybe that even chaotic natural forces have this kind of wild energy that isn't just purely destructive.
That's a great way to put it. Or maybe their power is just so absolute they handle it with a kind of, I don't know, effortless joy. Like sport, it definitely adds complexity. They're not just a simple storm metaphor.
And they move without limits.
Totally unstoppable.
Right.
Through forest trees of earth, through fissures of rocks, unhindered in their courses along bright embanked streams, they come quick with swift steeds, or rather deer.
Uncontainable. And like the others, they offer protection too.
Yes, they're called on to come with aid as in old days for frightened Kanva's sake. They tear monstrous foes, whether sent by gods or mortals, with power, might, and succors.
They guarded Kanva perfectly.
Seems so. Worshippers ask them to come with full protecting help, like lightning flashes seeking rain. And they have this fierce loyalty, apparently. They can send enemy like a dart against the poet's wrathful enemy.
Wow, so they'll actively target your enemies for you. That's serious backup.
It really is a powerful promise. They have worshippers among Kanava's sons, for whom all is prepared for their delight. And there's that statement of relationship. We are their servants.
So beyond these sort of headliner gods, the sources bring in others, right? Other important figures and ideas that fill out the picture.
Definitely. We get Brahmanaspati, who is the Lord of Prayer. This really highlights the power people believed was inherent in the ritual words themselves.
So prayer itself has a kind of divine force behind it.
That seems to be the idea. The hymns call for God-serving men to pray to him. Sunta, a goddess maybe linked to good speech or bounty, might come with him. Gods bring him to the rites, and he speaks forth the solemn hymn where gods dwell. He brings felicity.
And supporting the priests is tied into this.
Directly. The hymns say, those who bestow guerdon payment on the priest gain fame. Offers advance, they fill house with precious things. Brahmanaspati amplifies his lordly might, helps kings win battles, slays with kings, and ensures security.
And he's powerful in his own right.
Oh yeah, none checks or subdues him, wielding thunderbolt in fight. He's linked to Indra and the Maruts. He basically personifies the active power of correct prayer and ritual support.
Okay. Then there's that group, Varuna, Mitra, and Aryaman, the Adityas often linked to cosmic order.
That's right. They're consistently called excellently wise.
Oh.
And their protection seems absolute if you're on their good side. Those they favor are never injured, free from scathe.
They bring wealth.
They enrich with full hands and preserve from every foe. They drive away troubles, enemies, and crucially lead safely or distress.
And this safety is tied to that idea of the law we keep bumping into.
Exactly. The hymn says their path is thornless, easy for him who seeks the law. Here, the law, Rita or Dharma, isn't just rules. It's the fundamental truth, the right way, the cosmic order itself. Aligning with it means a safe journey, guided by these gods.
They guide the sacrifice correctly.
Guide sacrifice by direct path, ensuring it fits that order. And those who live by this law, who aren't subdued by enemies because they're aligned, they gain wealth, precious things, and children.
And if you violate that order?
Well, they dislike those who strike the pious or revile. And there's that hint of ultimate authority, fearing the one who holds all four within his hand until they fall. Suggests real consequences for messing with the cosmic balance they maintain.
Makes sense. They're mentioned with Rudra and Agni, so clearly major players. Now, Patan sounds quite different again, very practical.
Very practical. The cloud-born god, the ultimate guardian of paths. His whole job seems to be making travel safe and easy.
Like a divine travel agent and bodyguard rolled into one.
Pretty much. He shortens ways, moves aside obstruction. He actively fights off dangers, the wicked, inauspicious wolf and robber with guileful heart who lurk on path.
He even deals with sneaky enemies.
Yeah, he tramples firebrand of wicked, double-tongued,
Yeah.
protects against slander and deception too, it seems. He's called a wonder worker, help the ancestors. So he's reliable, ancient help.
The best wielder of the golden sword.
Right. And he makes riches easy to find. He leads past pursuers, makes the path pleasant and fair, leads to meadows rich in grass, ensures you find what you need.
Makes travel comfortable too. No heat stroke?
Sends no early heat. He's just gracious, fills, feeds, invigorates. People seen to him for wealth, and significantly, there's no blame for him. He seems purely helpful, focused on safe passage and finding sustenance.
Okay, then there's Rudra, associated with storms like his sons the Maruts, but also healing.
Yes, that's a key aspect here. He's strong, most bounteous, excellently wise. While potentially fearsome, people specifically pray for joy, health, strength from him.
He's Lord of Medicines.
Lord of sacrifice, of hymns and balmy medicines, he shines like sun or gold, called the best among gods.
And what kind of health does he grant?
It's broad. Health to our steeds, rams, ewes, men, women, and kine. He's preserving the vitality of the whole community, livestock included. That's crucial.
Associated with Soma, too.
Yeah, bringing glory, renown, strength, and warding off malignities and troublers. A deity, the Great Mother, might grant his grace to everyone, folk, kine, cattle, and progeny. And he's remembered by Mitra, Varuna, and all gods. He's definitely in the top tier.
So a powerful source of health, vitality, protection against illness and malice for the whole community and its livelihood.
Exactly, a vital force. And finally, just to round it out, we have the Dacius mentioned repeatedly, the opposition.
Defined by what they lack mostly. Wealthy, ancient, rightless ones, foes, godless.
Right. They represent chaos, the opposite of the ordered, pious world the worshippers aspire to. They flee, get burned from heaven. Importantly, their charms didn't work against Indra. They're the clear enemies of pious worshippers.
They serve as the foil, the thing the gods protect you from.
Precisely. Especially Indra and Agni. And through all these descriptions, you see those key concepts tying it together. Humans must engage through sacrifice, hymns, oblations, offerings. That's their part.
Their way of interacting, and in return, they're constantly seeking the essentials. Wealth, progeny, health, victory, protection.
Those are the goals, the hopes expressed in the prayers. And underpinning it all is that recurring idea, seeking the law, aligning with that cosmic order for a good life.
Okay, so let's try and bring this all together. We've got Indra, the warrior king, battling cosmic forces and earthly enemies. We have the Asvins, healing and providing daily needs. Savati, guiding pathways, bringing light and rest. Agni, the absolute essential connector, the fire priest and protector.
Then the Maruts, wielding immense storm power but also acting as allies. Brahmanaspati, empowering prayer itself. The Adityas Varuna, Mitra, Ardaman upholding that deep cosmic order. Pusan making journeys safe. Rudra preserving health and vitality.
Looking at this whole picture woven by these hymns, what kind of ancient worldview really starts to emerge?
Well, it's definitely a world where the gods aren't just distant figures. They are incredibly active, tangible forces, really woven into the very fabric of life.
Involved in everything.
Everything from, the biggest cosmic dramas like freeing the waters, right down to the nitty-gritty of daily life. Is my journey safe? Are my cows healthy? Will my prayers work? Am I protected from my enemies? Will I have enough food? Even the timing of sunrise and sunset.
It feels like a universe just buzzing with divine activity, and the relationship, it's clearly reciprocal, right? A two-way street.
Absolutely. It's like a cosmic exchange program.
Yeah.
Humans aren't just sitting back waiting, they're actively participating. Ritual, prayer, offerings, that's their input, their leverage maybe.
Their way of influencing things.
Exactly. And in return, they're looking for, expecting all those things we listed. Protection, wealth, health, victory, smooth paths. It's this dynamic negotiation, really, for well-being in what feels like a very powerful, sometimes unpredictable world.
And the different roles assigned to the gods, it doesn't feel simplistic. It seems quite sophisticated.
I think so, too. You've got the clear warriors like Indra and the Maruts dealing with direct threats. Then the helpers, the facilitators, Asvin, Savitar, Pusan, making life possible, making journeys safe. Agni is that crucial link, the communication channel and home protector.
The Adityas represent the deep structure, the order.
Right, the standard against which things are measured. And Rudra is focused on that life force, health, vitality. Each has their sphere, but they clearly interact, and people called on them based on the specific need.
So why does diving into this feel so compelling for us today? What's the relevance of peering into this ancient mindset through these specific hymns?
Well, I think it's because these texts offer this incredibly direct window, unfiltered, into what really mattered to people thousands of years ago. What were their biggest hopes? What were their deepest fears?
What did they see as the source of power, of blessing, of safety?
Exactly. And it reveals a universe that, for them, felt intensely alive with divine presence. And it shows this really deep, persistent human desire, which feels pretty universal, honestly, to connect with those forces, to gain their favor, to find protection from the things that shape our reality, whether we see them or not. That need for connection and security, it's ancient stuff.
So we've journeyed through these really potent excerpts from the Rig Veda. We've met the warrior king Indra, the kind healers Asvin, Savitar, the guide of light, Agni, the essential fire, the wild Maruts, and the others who stand for order, prayer, pathways, and health.
Yeah, these voices, thousands of years old, they paint a picture of a world where the line between, say, the divine and the everyday wasn't some hard border. It was incredibly porous. Human life was just understood as being constantly touched, shaped, influenced by powerful, often unseen forces.
Forces you actively engaged with through things like ritual and prayer.
Right. It wasn't theoretical.
And maybe the thought to sort of mull over after this deep dive is this. These hymns describe a reality where divine action wasn't just a belief, it was the explanation for why things happened. Good health, finding wealth, staying safe, winning a fight. Every blessing, every bit of protection, every success was seen as a direct gift, a grant from these powerful beings.
A very different way of seeing cause and effect.
Totally. So, what might it mean for us, just as a thought experiment, as we navigate our own challenges and opportunities today, to consider that ancient perspective, to imagine, just for a moment, a world where powerful forces are constantly interacting with our reality, and where maybe our own focused intentions, our own rituals perhaps, could actually influence those forces? It's a provocative thought, isn't it?